Yo, what's up? So it's been a while, probably over a month. I downloaded Monstrum like last week. I was actually excited to play it. I see it in the Xbox store. It's not a major release. It's like $30, and but then I realized it came out 5 years ago, and it's probably been uploaded to death all over YouTube. So I've been a little slow to upload it because of that reason. I just uploaded all the audio logs and all the notes. They're just randomly thrown anywhere. So as you go through and you pick them up, it saves them. And then you could go to the main menu and look at them when you collect them all. So if you're interested in the notes or the audio logs, I got another video on that. I just uploaded it. In this video, I kind of skipped through. I'll read a couple and then just skip over the rest. So this is going to be against the Hunter. If you don't know, there's three monsters: the Hunter, the Fiend, and the Brute. I feel like the Hunter's the easiest. I feel like the Fiend is fucking bullshit. It's just cheesy. I think they need to patch some stuff with the Fiend. And the Brute is like the middle. Alright, so right from the beginning, you can check your notes. It says head's killing him. He doesn't really know what's going on. And you can pick up the flashlight right away. And then that's one of the notes. See, look, I got them all already. Then once you collect one, then you could have it forever. You could always check it. So there's 21 notes. There's the fuse. Right there. So if you see the lights on, don't use the flashlight because the battery will die. And I recommend having a high sensitivity that you can handle. Because when you got to get away from a monster, it's got to be quick. If you're slow to turn, or if you're slow to jump into a locker, they're gonna get you. Especially, I'm playing on Xbox One, and they were fucking tough. Like, if they see me, they're right on your ass. So I got kind of lucky. There was another fuse right there. They're usually not that easy to find. So when you start, there's a camera. Cameras are a big pain in the ass. See, I'm moving pretty fast. I played it a few times, so I know what I'm looking for. If you pick up duct tape, you can actually block out the camera. You can tape over the lens, which is one of the little secrets of the game. There's a question mark on the duct tape, and that's what it means. It's got a secret usage for stopping cameras, because they are a fucking pain in the ass. Alright, so this is what the fuses are for. You could open up these power locks, and there's usually an important item that you need for an escape. So I talked about there's three monsters. There's also three ways to escape. You got the submarine, which I'm going to do in this video. You got the life raft, and you got the helicopter. And then each escape, you need certain items to get it. So for like the submarine, you need the battery, you need the headlight, you need the welding kit, and you need a fuse. And the hardest part, what sucks, is when you get all that shit and you get everything ready to go. It's the bolt cutters. That's for the helicopter. When you get everything to go, there's like this, like a time frame where you're waiting for the submarine to be ready, or you're waiting for the helicopter to be ready, and then the monster comes. It's like it's always scheduled. They're always going to come, and then you have to kind of escape from them. And that's probably like the most nerve-wracking part, because you get all the way to the end, and if you fuck it up, then you got to start all over. That sucks. So I kind of hear them, and I'm just being safe. What I'm holding now is the radio, so you could use those for distractions. You throw them, and you turn them on first. Make sure you remember to turn it on, then you throw them. Or you could actually drop them by pressing Y, and then you throw stuff by holding Y. I just realized that. So that comes in handy to know, because there's doors that are barricaded and you can't get in, and you have to throw a radio or an egg timer into that room, and then go hide real quick, and then the monster will break into that room for you. So after he leaves, then you have access to that room. And that barricaded rooms usually have an important item for an escape, and they usually have an audio log. So with the cameras, just like I said, you got to be extra careful. Sometimes you could just run through as long as you turn the corner real quick. Pain in the ass. So once you get out, if you look at the D-pad, I'm too busy right now. It'll say, like, oh shit, I'm on a ship. He didn't even know he was on a ship. I don't know if he has amnesia or what happened. The lure, if you watch my other video, I was just talking about it kind of gets explained that they get these monsters in the shipping crates and they escape. I didn't really pay attention though. Right now I'm just kind of... And another way to get around the cameras if you don't feel like waiting, just go outside and there's plenty of doors to go around them. So I'm just running away. And then like I was saying, if you get a monster to break open a barricaded room, that's actually an achievement on Xbox. And then with those power locks, if you can get a monster to go in there and you're outside, if you turn the power off, they'll be stuck in that power room, but only temporarily. And that's also an achievement too, because I did it and I thought the guy would be stuck a lot longer, and he fucking broke out in like 2 seconds and killed me. There's chem lights. You can pick up those chemical lights if you don't want to use the flashlight. They last longer, but they're just not as bright. And on this run I actually get the achievement for powering up 2 different areas, 2 additional areas. So I know I used the one right there, and then I know I'm going to use the one on the submarine, and I think I use one down in the engine. Yeah, I do. I use one in the engine room to power up the telephone line, which I didn't know what it was for, but now I think I do. So I just picked up an egg timer, so that's just like the radio, just a different version to distract the monsters. And when I threw that radio earlier, what I was trying to do what I was talking about, where he would come into the power locked room, and I would have turned the power off and had him stuck, but he came at me. Instead of going into this room, he kind of saw me and was chasing me, so I was running away from him. Alright, so make sure you pay attention to the levels that's written on the wall. So like whenever you start, they don't always put you in the same spot, so you want to look at the wall, see where you're at, so you can get orientated. And then those fire extinguishers on the wall, you could actually pick those up and spray the monster if they get close, and it kind of stops them, but not really, so it's not even worth trying. Just don't even bother picking it up. Just do it to get there's an achievement for spraying a monster. I don't know if it's any monster or a certain one. Just check the achievements and see if it's a certain one. But yeah, so I'm on deck 6, and this is how you know you got the hunter. When you see those little bubbles on the wall, and when you get close to him, there's a good chance he'll jump out of it or out of a vent right by there. And then another achievement is to activate one of those, they call them hunter traps. So like I said earlier, you want to hold in Y, so you throw it, and then you activate the trap. The hunter comes out, get the hell out of there, and then an achievement should pop up. I think that I never did it, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's that simple, but like I was talking about earlier, with the monsters, they all have their pros and cons. I think the hunter's the easiest because he does telegraph when he's coming in. He's got the little green bubbles on the walls or around the vents, so you could get ready and just run and hide, and then he goes away, which is good. Because with the brute, he's good in terms of, you know he's coming because he just stomps around. He's kind of like a Big Daddy from BioShock. You can hear him coming, and he's got a big orange light that actually glows through the wall, so you can kind of see him glitching through the walls. But the only con with him, or one of the cons, is he hangs around way too long. Like if he comes to your area, you pretty much got to just scoot by him, go somewhere else, and then come back later, because he just hangs around way too long. There's another barricaded room, so if I threw something in there, that's what they would knock down that door for me. And then, like I was saying earlier, the Fiend is just bullshit. He floats around. I think what they meant to do was have the lights flicker so you knew he was in the area, but it's not always consistent. He's the only monster where he'd be waiting for me in rooms. So like I open the room, he's just fucking sitting there, and then he just grabs you. Because there's no quick turn, and he's sitting right at the door, and he doesn't actually have to grab you. He has a telekinesis, so he just holds you steady and like fucking breaks your arms with his mind. And sometimes there'll be a purple cloud at a door, because he has that, that aurora of purple. So you'll be like, oh, don't go in that room. And then you turn and then he's right there. You're like, why is the fucking door purple? He's not even in there. So I don't know if they did that on purpose or I think so. I think it needs that the Fiend needs to be patched. All right, so I set off the camera alarm again. They're a pain in the ass. I picked up some gasoline. Gasoline's for the helicopter, and then I picked up the submarine battery. So I'm just hanging out waiting. So you got 3 different ways to escape. So you got 3 different endings, and you got 3 different monsters. So you got the different variations. So you can escape on the submarine from, the Brute or the Fiend. All 3 monsters. You can escape from on the helicopter from one of the 3 monsters, but they're not really that crazy. Like specific endings. They're just very generic. There's achievements for escaping on each different way, and there's an achievement for defeating each monster, though. There's only like 16 achievements, and like I was talking about earlier, the one where you get them to break into the room or you get them locked into a powered room are worth like 150 gamer points. So right up here is the bridge. There's usually an audio log on the controls. There's usually an important item up in that area. Here's usually in the raft area. I already picked up the there you go. So that's going to give me 2 additional slots. Here's the raft. Here's the submarine headlight. And here's the air pump. So as you play, you're going to find out where usually the main areas where stuff's put for escape. So I just got some good, some good items right there. I got lucky. There's usually a chem light in here. I wouldn't hide in there though. You're too exposed. So my plan was to make a raft escape, but then I got the last submarine item, so I just went with that. Yeah, so like usually level 3, and then when you go up to like 5, 6, and 7, the bridge, they have a lot of items are usually placed there. Whenever you see one of those power lock rooms, you always want to check in there. The barricaded rooms usually have an item. I usually just skipped it. If it's an item I need and it's in the barricaded room, I'm not even going to bother, unless I already have it. If I'm there and I have the egg timer or the radio, I might go for it, but I'm not going to go out of my way. And if you see another flashlight, just pick it up. I should have just picked it up there. I think I already did though, because you're eventually going to run out of a battery. So if you see a new one, just pick it up, throw the other one away, just to start fresh. And then here's another area where there's usually one item, but it's a little tricky. It's dangerous, especially with the hunter. Is these containers? There's going to be if you read the notes, you'll see that one of the containers exploded, or a bunch of them. I think it says one, but there's holes in a bunch of them, and then you could go inside and climb or drop down, and then you'll find an item in the containers usually. But with the hunter, since he can appear anywhere when those green spots are around, it's real dangerous. Because if he shows up when you're in the containers and you don't have much room you don't have any room really, so you're kind of screwed. You have to drop down, or if you have to climb, you're screwed. But if you have to drop down, you can kind of get away. So just be careful. Another thing I should have said earlier, I wasn't sure what this. I think it just powers up the light in the area, so I wasn't going to waste the fuse. Make sure you always open up random locker room doors or those little doors on those shelves back there on the floor. And for doing that is because you want just to have them ready. So if you just randomly, I just threw that to try to distract them, heard them coming. So if you just if you're making a break for it and you run into a room, it'll save you that little bit of time where the locker door's already open, so you can just run in and then shut it. You don't have to worry about opening it, going in, and then shutting it. And I also like to leave all the doors open so I know where I've been, because I've been playing it for a while, but I still kind of get confused sometimes. And the configuration of the ship changes every playthrough, so you can't really memorize it too much. You can, you have a good idea, but it's always getting changed up. So here's the engine room. I really don't like this area. I don't really see what's the only thing that this area seems good for is you could actually turn the steam off. There's like a main valve for turning off the steam, and I think I do pick up there was some major items. There's another fuse, so I got lucky on this one. When I usually go to this area, there's like nothing there, but this time there was some bunch of stuff, I think. So you see that telephone, there's going to be an area where you could power the telephone up. No, I didn't really know what that was for, but I think I figured it out. I watched another video, and the guy, what happens is there's a barricaded room where that main valve for the steam is, so you can't get in and you can't throw anything in because there's just not enough. The hole's not big enough to throw something in. So what you do is you put a fuse and you power up the telephones, and then you actually call that building the steam valve is in, and I guess that noise attracts the monster, and then that causes him to break in. I haven't done it yet, but I've seen another YouTuber do it. So that's an achievement too for turning off the steam. And it seems like this area, the monster just never really come. I did see him here before, but my last few playthroughs, you could actually hide in those little steel boiler room looking things right there to the bottom right there. And that cup is you could pick up breakables that you can throw and distract the monsters, but there's no point. I don't even know if they work. I haven't even tried, because once they show up, and if you're that close to throw it or whatever, it's not going to do anything. Alright, so here's what I was talking about. So you can't throw anything in there. So what you got to do is you got to call inside that room, and then that should cause the monster to break the door down. I don't know how long, if you got to get the monster in the area first or whatever, but so I got some bolt cutters, but I just realized I already had a pair, so that's going to happen. Sometimes you're going to get duplicate items. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Like I think on this run or the one before, I had like 4 or 5 flashlights. I was like, alright, this is another radio. So I think I'm going to try, I don't know if it was this run or the other run. I was actually trying to throw a radio in there and an egg timer in there to get a monster to show up. Alright, so here's the chain spool. So that's for the raft. That's for the lift to get the raft into the water. So right now I was thinking raft. I just need the duct tape. But like I said, I end up finding the last submarine item, so I just go for that instead. I'm just going to speed up this area. I was just searching the engine room. I do find I'll show you where you put the fuse when you want to get the telephone online, right here. And then I play with the telephone a little bit. I wasn't sure what it was for yet. I don't know if I thought there was like a code with those numbers, but I guess it just represents you're calling the different engine rooms. I think the room you want to call for the monster to break open the door is room 2, but I would have to double check. Alright, so I'm going to make my way across to the other side of the ship now. One of the ways to do that is to go up on the deck and then run past the helicopter. That's how you know you're going to the other side. Always watch out for the steam. You could hear it coming when the pipes start rattling. Like I was saying earlier, I like to leave the doors open so I know where I've been. And then they recommend you could actually use the chem light. If you get a bunch of chem lights, you could just drop them strategically, and then you could mark your path, like the Minotaur's Labyrinth. But I got the bolt cutters and I got the gasoline, so you don't have to do everything at once. So I'm gonna go by the helicopter, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start getting that ready just in case. So you cut the cables that are holding the helicopter in place, and then you could pull the gas tank out of storage. You have to cut the shipping containers have chains on them. You can cut those open, and then you can pull the refueling device next to the helicopter and get it started. And then all I would have needed was the helicopter keys, but they're probably the hardest to find in terms of size. They're just so small, so you have to pay attention. You go in a room, they could just be sitting in the corner, but they're real tiny. And then when you get to the helicopter, you gotta watch out right here. There's a steam pipe, so you go to the other side. You can change that direction and then make it go the other way. And then whenever you see a new escape, a new objective should pop up. Then just hit D on the down on the D-pad, and it'll give you what you got to do. So I'm cutting these cables. Make sure if you can't get it to cut, make sure that the actual cable's glowing. Then you know then it's ready to get cut, or you're in the right spot. And I think it's random what container the refueling device is in, so you just got to check them all. You just pull it out. It's kind of glitchy when you start pulling it, so just be careful. Of course, this is the last one. And then once you do that, you could drop the I don't know if the bolt cutters go away, or I know the gas will, but if the bolt cutters don't, like I did right there, you just drop them, and then you can free up a spot in your inventory. So it looks like a barbecue grill. I'm trying to push it. I don't know if you gotta go side. It's really awkward, so I got stuck on the stupid door. But once you get it near the refueling spot, it kind of puts itself in its position, which is good. See how it kind of goes in its own spot, and then hold the X button down. Don't just tap it. You got to hold it down, and then just use the controller to direct it into the hose, to that little fuel out section, and then it'll connect for you. And then the gasoline will go right here. And I don't think you can't start refueling really until you get the helicopter key, because once you start doing that, and then like I was talking about in the beginning, that's when that like last stage monster scenario happens, and they pop out, and then as you're waiting for it to refuel, you got to escape. And one of the ways I've seen people do is using that steam device. When he's coming up the steps, you could sit there and hit him with the steam, and then when it goes to the other side, you switch the steam to the other side. You could do that, or you can just run around for a while like this. You just run around the ship. You should be good too. See, it's easy to get confused. I don't know if I was going back the way I came or the way I wanted to go there after messing with the helicopter. So I'm gonna go search these new rooms, and this is where I'll find the that last piece for the submarine. There's more gasoline. Actually, pick it up because I wasn't sure. I haven't done a helicopter escape, so I was like, I'll just take it just in case I need to. It's also pretty hilarious. I never really do comms, and this is probably my longest one. It's going to be about a half hour, and I do it on a fucking 5-year-old game. This game's so old. I actually looked on Twitter to follow this company, and they just did a beta for part 2. So that's how old this game is. Alright, so I just picked up the welding kit. So I was like, oh shit, I got all the parts, so fuck it, I'm gonna go for the submarine exit. So I was reading up on Twitter, so Monstrum 2 just had a beta. It looks like their new thing is gonna be the player controls the monster, or a player, and then there's 3 other players trying to escape. So it's a cooperative game now, which I don't like, because whenever you play with people, there's all they want to do is cheat, find every cheap fucking possible way to win, and it's just not fun. So hopefully they have both. I didn't really do a lot of research, so I don't want to say that's all there is. Hopefully there's just a standard game like this too, with the option for a cooperative. Alright, so that's the welding kit done. Like I said, if you're done with it, you could just drop it. Put the battery in. Next, the headlight right up here. So it's kind of good that I did them all at the end so you can see. check your notes. You can see what you got to do. So all that's left, I'm not sure what this card is for. I've seen people actually using it to troll the monsters. You could trap them. You could put it in front of them, and they can't they get like kind of stuck. It's not even letting me move it right now. It's just fucking glitching like crazy. I put it in front of the door because I was just kind of thinking it'll give me, you know, one less. They wouldn't be able to come through. Was basically what I was thinking, but there's two or three other doors, so I was just trying to block one door just to have. All right, so here's that achievement I was talking about, powering up 2 additional areas. All right, so here's the countdown, and then this is where you just gotta basically escape from the monster until it's ready. So this is a nice little spot because they're gonna have to come up the steps to get you, so you can just jump off the side here. So it gives you time to let them come to you, and then you get an easy getaway. So he's gonna come through this vent right in the bottom left. I got here before I think my first playthrough. I was fucking pissed, and the brute came in, and I was running around in the hallways trying to dodge him, and he fucking cut me off. He cut through and actually was like playing smart, like a fucking D-back. Cut through the field, and he grabbed me through another door. I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" And then I had to play for 2 other hours to get here, to get back. So, permadeath, not my favorite thing in games. I get too frustrated. It's like one of my pet peeves of games. Is real repetitive, and you have to start all over. You have to keep doing the same thing over and over again. I can't. That's one of my pet peeves in games. So me blocking that door almost kind of screwed me over. If he would have came there, I would have got fucked. But I kind of just went here on the steps, was waiting to see if he would come, and he never does. So I kind of got lucky. He wasn't chasing me like really aggressively. If he would have came, I would have just ran up and tried to hide somewhere, which probably wouldn't have been good. I don't recommend hiding at the end because they seem to get more aggressive with their tactics, so that might grab you wherever you go. I would just run for it, just run in circles to whatever's ready, and then when it's ready, just make your way back to it. So all I gotta do, I gotta hit the other button to lower it. And like I said, I almost screwed myself here because if he would have popped out right here, I would have been screwed. Gotta push this out of the way. All right, so and then hit the button. And then make sure you click on the submarine. Don't just run up to it. You can see him. I'm gonna wait for him, like I said, to come all the way up, and then I can just drop down. And that's it. Any questions, let me know. Here's the ending.